Be Brave at Red Horizon. Be Brave is it's the I guess the official slogan of Cinecoup.
Okay.
But what's more than that is, the team, my team, Horizon, we kind of, has it's become our mantra, and we took it from them, and we're using it as kind of a personal mission statement to remind us that doing what we do in this crazy world and this crazy business takes bravery, and you have to kind of throw trust and wisdom out the window and really just go with bravery and dreaming if you want to make a movie. At least that's what I think, and it really has served us. But it means so much, right? It means, like, what would you do? What would you do different if you could, right? How can you be brave? Can you know, is just talking about film being brave, or how can you become part of the great conversation that is, telling stories, or being a part of Canada and telling stories. And so that's, we stole it from them.
So tell me, what is
Yeah.
Cinecoup? How are you involved? And what is Red Horizon?
Right. Okay. Well, Cinecoup is an online national competition. It's a company set up in Vancouver that is doing this, and basically what it is it has challenged filmmakers from across the country to join up with a project and do these weekly missions, with the goal of, at the end of the Cinecoup process, the winner wins a $1 million production budget to make their feature film, which is amazing. But here's the game-changing part: the greatest, the prize, really, in my point of view, is that the winner, who makes their movie for $1 million, gets their film released in Cineplex cinemas across the country in 2014, in January 2014. So it's an accelerated model that started in February, and I guess come June the winner will be announced, and then it literally, you have to finish the film between June and, I guess, New Year's, which isn't a very long time to make a movie at all. And then it's going to be released in January. So it really is a game-changing way of making movies, and because it's online, and it uses social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and their own page. And the idea, and I think it's amazing, and kind of the future of making movies, particularly in this country, is it uses social media to build up a fan base, and so essentially you're creating the fans of the movies before the movie is even made, or before all the movies are made. And it's also game changing in the fact that it opens up a national conversation for filmmakers and film fans to talk about our stories and have people participate in the early aspects of the creating of these stories, and gets it out there. And the hope is, I mean, we're now down to the top 10. It started with 90 films in February, and then that moved down to the top 60, then the top 40, then the top 15, now the top 10, and the top 5 vote is, I think, tomorrow. Starts on May 30th, and the top 10, and maybe even the top 15. Hopefully, they're going to be making their films, and my hope is that maybe it's not just going to be the winner of Cinecoup who gets their movie in cinemas in 2014. Maybe 15 films will be flooding the market, Canadian films, on top of all the other productions that are already going. So it really is kind of a game-changing way of looking at things. The way that you can get involved with Cinecoup, the way that I see it, you can break it down to 3 points. Vote, watch, and talk. And when you sign up at Cinecoup, Cinecoup.com, you can create a profile via your Facebook page or just by email, and that gives you the ability to go on the page to communicate to the filmmakers via that page and earn votes. When you sign up, you get a profile and it tells you how to earn votes. And then during a voting process, you can vote for multiple films or just one particular film, and it depends on how many votes you earn. At this point in time, fans who have been doing it since February have 70 votes now, and they're able to put all those votes onto one movie or multiple movies. And if somebody was to join up today, for instance, they probably wouldn't make 70 votes, but they would still make enough votes to put their voice in. Yeah. The second thing is watch. You don't have to sign up to Cinecoup, and you can still go on Cinecoup and watch the content. Like I said, part of the Cinecoup process is the filmmakers were challenged to make missions, weekly missions, throughout this entire process. And so you can go online and watch their videos, and or go on their Facebook and watch the videos. So for me, it would be cinecoup.com/Red Horizon, and just watching it, helps the trending go up and adds to this Cinecoup magical cocktail that they have that measures the quality of like who's watching what and what projects are popular and what people actually want to see. And the last thing is and I think the most important thing is the conversation. Having people be able to talk to the filmmakers via Facebook, Twitter, or even Cinecoup is really, really important. So again, you don't have to sign up to Cinecoup, but you can still talk to the filmmakers. And Cinecoup is monitoring all of this stuff. We're all networked to them, and they have this, like I was saying, this magic cocktail. Understand algorithm that it's not just a popularity contest. So it's not just like you could have 1 million people on Facebook like your movie and then you're guaranteed to win. It's voting is a substantial part of the voice of the viewer, but also the talking and viewing of content, and this kind of magic cocktail that informs Cinecoup as to what movie the public wants to see. My movie is called Red Horizon, and I'm really, really totally excited about it. It's a psychological sci-fi thriller set in the backdrop of the first manned mission to Mars, in which something catastrophic goes wrong, and the 6 astronauts that were chosen to be part of this most amazing adventure are faced with a life and death choice. The movie focuses around the medical officer Maddie, who's also a mother, and she's trying to keep the band of 6, the team members, together mentally, but very, very quickly cabin fever starts to set in because of this situation, and it becomes a game of cat and mouse. Who will survive and who will not on the trip back home? So it is a throwback to that Hitchcockian style movie. I'm a huge cinephile, and I want to make a movie that is more of a slow burn, trip for the audience. It's not one of those movies that has loud noises that make you get scared, or somebody comes out with a knife and or something abruptly happens. This is a psychological movie with the love of Hitchcock's Psycho and Lifeboat. If there's a business model, I don't know what it is. Yeah. And I'm sure there is a business model. I mean, there are amazing people out there like Robert Lantos and Adam McGoyan and all that sort of jazz that have a business model and this sort of thing. But I grew up as a dreamer, right? I grew up watching The Goonies or Back to the Future or E.T. And these are the movies that I want to make and that inspire me. And so I really focused my intentions on creating story that is meaningful and that has adventure and that has wide mass appeal, and that's where my passion lies. But they call it the motion picture industry for a reason, because it's an industry, right? It's it takes money to make art, and so you have to be of that kind of mind, that entrepreneurial mind, which is what Cinecoup is really gearing up for, to make the filmmakers more entrepreneurial, which is great because it gets us out of our box, right? Out of the writing room and oh, it's my movie, to sharing it, making mistakes, showing our mistakes, and this process has been really liberating for me because literally, and I'm not sure if I would ever recommend this, but this process of Cinecoup over the months, you have to apply with a concept trailer, and then you do these missions every week. And so, for somebody who didn't have the screenplay at the time of creating this concept trailer, I don't want to cast actors in the concept trailer. I don't want to lock down a look or anything, because the movie is not even done yet. It's not even made yet. I don't want to tell, one of the trillions of amazing actors in this country that yes, you're going to be in this movie because you're in my concept trailer. Like that, it doesn't work that way. And so, in creating this mood and this concept, it's I started off writing the screenplay pretty much post trailer, after we posted the trailer, and because of that, and because of the fan base out there who was building, and the sci-fi fans and the Mars fans and just the movie fans, and having them communicate back and forth to us via the Cinecoup thing, people really did affect the creating of the script. Ideas came flowing in through them that sparked other ideas that otherwise wouldn't be in the screenplay, and it really is. I really do thank this process to create this in creating the screenplay for this movie, Red Horizon.
Tell us a little bit about your big announcement and who this chappie is and how he's involved and how he got involved, because I got a feeling Cinecoup had something to do with it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So Dean Kundi is a director of photography, and he has done some small movies in the past. He was the director of photography on Halloween, on John Carpenter's The Thing, on Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. He was nominated for an Academy Award for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He was the DP on Jurassic Park and Apollo 13. And now he's going to be the DP of Red Horizon. It's a long story, and I'll try to keep it as short as possible, but I mentioned before that these movies are the movies that inspired me to want to make movies, and so when I was making writing a movie about space, I wanted to make it as real as possible, and Dean, doing Apollo 13, did a lot of in-camera trickery to create that anti-gravity feel. Yes, they did the vomit comet thing, so you got the full frame shots of people floating around, but every time there was a medium shot or a close-up shot of Tom Hanks doing this, or the camera doing this, I mean, that's Dean working with the actor and working with Ron Howard. And so he was always, somebody that I dreamed to work with. I mean, I'm a huge Spielberg fan, so just the fact that Dean did Hook, which I love, and he also
I love Hook too.
Yeah, I love Hook.
Dustin Hoffman, hello.
Yeah.
You never go wrong with Dustin Hoffman.
It's awesome, eh? And Jurassic Park. I mean, who hasn't heard of that movie? And so, there was a vague family connection. A friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, that type of thing. And so I always had that kind of thing in my back pocket. And using Cinecoup, what happened was, I put together a package. I put together the visual package of the trailer and all the scenes, because all the missions, because the missions really are a visual kind of breakdown of how we feel about the movie and what we want from the movie and all that sort of jazz. So it's a visual way of us talking about the movie and showing how we want to do it and all that sort of jazz. And so, and the inspiration behind it and kind of the, the movie behind the movie. And so we put all those links together and the screenplay, which is now optioned by Cinecoup. And you dream big, you be brave. And you say, okay, well, I've made my feature film. I've gone out and I've raised money and I've shot it with a great team of talented people. And now I want to be a better filmmaker. I want to surround myself with people who are smarter than I am. And so going into this movie, I want to work with people who can elevate my game. And so I said, why not? Why not try to contact with Dean? And it was the right timing, because I had all the right material and I had the script, and he was finished the production and he was flying back from Australia, and so he had time to watch the stuff on his iPad and to read the script. And when he got back to his home in LA, he contacted me. And we chatted and we talked, and he's a huge fan of Hitchcock, and I mean, obviously he was the DP on Psycho 2, and so we talked about it, and I told him the plot twists that were inspired by the plot twists in Psycho, and we talked about character and where we wanted to take the next draft. And because Ramona Barkert and I, my co-writer, she's currently working on the next draft, and he was like, yeah, okay, great. And we talked about the confines of working in Canadian film and working with a $1 million budget, because it's not a lot of money. No. It sounds like a lot of money, but it's not. I mean, you really do have to look at it from a concept of, okay, well, let's make a $100,000 movie, right? But with the rest of the money, it's going to go towards talent, or it's going to go towards a set. This character of this garbage can flying in space, right? Where our characters, play the entire time. This claustrophobic set needs to be created, and so we need to put some love into that concept too. And so Dean fully recognizes it, and for whatever reason, he jumped on board. He loved the script, and he wanted to be a part of it. And I'm the luckiest filmmaker right now. It's pretty cool. You can really be a part of this great conversation. A lot of people sit back and say, Canadian movies, blah 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 blah. Canadian is a genre. It's either about beavers, or it's about taking drugs, or that's the problem. There'll always be filmmakers. There'll always be people going to film school or being inspired by people who are brave. And so there'll always be people making movies. And therefore, there will always be an audience, which is you. For the very first time in cinema history, Canadian audiences have a real chance to be a part of the conversation before movies are made. And so instead of complaining about a movie after it's made, well, why can't they, why does it have to be about beavers? Well, go talk to the writer, go talk to the filmmaker, tell them what you want to see in movies, and support people with big ideas. Because we don't have the money to advertise our films. We don't have the money to make our films to compete with Hollywood. So we have to make them the best way we can, with the biggest concept that we can, in the best way that we can execute it. And we will always be doing that. And it's up to film goers to be a part of that journey as well. This is really a new paradigm in making movies, and it's a real honor to be a part of this thing. Whether Red Horizon will be remembered or not it's not part of the equation here. It's about being part of this national conversation that no one else is having, and having your voice be heard, and talking to people who make content, because once you get it into the realm of the people's choice, then you're going to start seeing people favor movies coming out of our country a lot more. And then if that happens and happens and happens and happens, then that can create an industry, and maybe even bring what industry we have together.